Hello. Welcome to my stream. It's stream Late Night Talks with Romantic Developer, and it's 118 episodes. Its stream started as a challenge that I could stream for 152 days consecutive, and right now it's continuous. And while it's not become maybe fully professional stream in terms I stream on already famous or already channel with its own auditory, but I started vice versa, and of course it didn't work perfectly well. And because it's not a stream about some very sensitive topics like politics, some jokes, or something like that, and it's changing topics, of course. Even I received some number of subscribers. It's not they're not watching me all the time, but it was a great learn for me, and I'm keeping sharing my learnings with you every day, every stream, and doing some work around moving forward with our current project, which is YouTube AI helper, which helped people to work with any videos and automate multiple things like thinking about perfect video title, description, keywords, create video sections or chapters, and to create some even short ideas for the video, and so on and so on. Yeah, if we'll start with first part of stream, it's historically uh, about some answering your questions, discussing the latest news, your topics for discussions, and so on and so on. If there are no questions like today, we used to just talk about some of my personal reflections of the day, like what things I think of, or what is my insights from the day, what was maybe some interesting conversation, and so on. And for today, today is one of the weekends when I didn't done any work related to my work, but it was mostly full of chores, some work around house, go shopping with all the family, with my wife and my mother-in-law, and shopping, buying a lot of stuff for a whole week or maybe even more, and so on, and visiting several stores, then organizing all the stuff we bring. We actually use some tradition. We clean all everything we bring to the home with antibacterial wipes, and it started not from COVID times but much longer before before that. So we're really struggling at COVID times because we used to buy wipes and clean everything which we bring. But it was a problem to buy any wipes. There is Rocket Rocket Star. Oh, Star rocketed probably. Uh, Prices very high, and it was very hard to find them, and they sold on eBay on space or universe space price, and soon eBay even prohibited to sell them because it's like you should go to store and buy them, and in the store they never present. And I remember the times when in the store you could buy only one packet of wipes, not packet, one like bottle, one item of wipes, one bottle of wipes or whatever per person, and it's and we try to buy more. In many cases, it was okay. So we don't bring everything, but maybe we bought like 3, 4 with wife, so not two like it should. Yeah, so all of those, of course, took time and then some organization. So really, as I understand now, I don't have time to think about it. Something, um, and maybe I still have that emotion that about myself and about other people, of course, that how many stuff people gather in their life. Uh, when we came to United States, we came to United States for business trip. So we are not immigrants in usual sense of that word. We just came here for work, let's say a few months, and I took my family with me, and we live in some hotel. Then we decided because it several months and live several months in hotel with two kids, with two small kids. It's really awful. So we agreed with my company that we could rent some homes, some house, some apartments, and they will pay like landlord for like they pay me, I pay landlord instead of hotel. It should be even less money. So company agreed, and we find some house where we could live in better conditions than in hotel. And we bring only 4 bags of stuff. And of course, once we start living here, everything looks like so expensive comparing to our country. And we really try to not buy anything which is not needed. And then after we decided to stay and change at several homes, now I'm coming to my garage, and it's like a warehouse of things which I rarely use. And basically my wife, not maybe so rarely, but also not everything and not always. And we think, oh, come on, we we took so many things which we are not using. Maybe we need to do something with that. So we agreed that maybe when we have time, we could, uh, yeah, invertise inventory, create inventory of the things, or like review all the things and decide which things to live with us and which things should go, or to maybe goodwill, or maybe to some people in need. Maybe we could sell it online if it's worth it. And yeah, what we just threw into the trash. So yeah, it should be an exercise. We doing it normally, but probably not enough, because things not at the one stage, they're growing and growing and growing. So yeah, people bring with their life so many things, and they keep them where they are basically. So if you want to step somewhere from your current position, probably you need to review what the things you have and maybe decide which things you don't need anymore. It's it was my thoughts and my advice for all of you who maybe find interesting to listen to me. Yeah, on the news side, it's always the same. People making money, people doing wars, and people hating each other, and so on and so on. So actually, nothing interesting. Of course, some people are trying to invent something new and try to make someone's life better, but they're only few, and most of the people don't care about it, and others choose not to accept and love, but rather find enemies and fight and discuss someone. So spend energy not on good, but let's say on bad, or at least on neutral, mostly on something bad. So many people try to find someone to hate, or at least someone to not accept. Yeah, and I see what it lead to. It lead to wars. It lead to wars in the whole word, and if someone thinks that okay, war is somewhere else, it will never come to me. It could, and it's so coming so unexpectedly that you never believe it would come. Okay, hopefully people stop doing wars and start doing love and uh, some research and work together for bright, good future. But instead, looks like it's old as a word that people want to be rich, they want power, and mostly power means not protect someone, not care about something, and not like lead people, like divide with them all their happiness and sadness, but like use other people. So power, I can, because I have power, I will use other people for my needs. Come on, it's not how it should be, but it's all the history of wars that very few people in power actually care about others, you know. Yeah, maybe it would be changed, maybe it should change. I hope it will change. Maybe in my lifetime at least I will see such leaders, but yeah, I don't, I couldn't be over optimistic, but I can hope, of course. Okay, if we will return to our subject, what we've done previously, we work on YouTube AI helper. It's something we already done before we start that chart. No chart, it's diagram. What we want, and after we start what we want, we already agreed that performance could be achieved with local Whisper execution pretty sufficient. So we could, with the stream going on, I executed multiple times Whisper turbo model, which is pretty good on very long stream, about 90 minutes or so, and it's executed with 20x time. So basically, it's in 1 minute it's transcribed more than 20. It supports word level SRT, so it supports the way to say, where we say every word which could be used for captions or any other things which where we need like word time frame for every word. But features parity with OpenAI SDK, it's still not here because local whisper used to provide much more bogus output with more errors, with some hallucination when he used to repeat some words for some time. So the longest I've seen is 20 minutes of lost transcript because it started hallucinating and couldn't stop it. So yeah, it was not so nice. Should I bring closer to my microscope, which I never used on the stream, or should I just maybe turn my camera slightly? I think. Oh, really? I'm sorry. Turn my camera slightly simpler, but it's already fixed, so it's not so simple. Okay. Looks like, yeah, it's better now. So, what would be our next step? We talk about how we could improve quality. Let's even call it feature quality, and change that in both slides. And now we think that okay, maybe we should go next with our short ideas. And for short ideas, we already have script which returns some short ideas, but now we want to have some schema for that. Why? Because we want to process that answer. So we want ChatGPT to return us answer which we could parse and execute, basically. Not execute result, but execute on top of result. So do some logic. In that case, it would be use downloaded video file and or maybe just create Adobe Premiere project and say, hey, add that file, and then just cut it and insert in timeline only those fragments, and then please import those SRT for that phrases. It would be your wording, and then for each word even we could create captions automatically, which is not so supported for Adobe Premiere Pro. Without plugins you should pay. Maybe we could do it for free. So it was our idea. So not to generate complete short, but instead generate project for that short, which you could review, change, and add some effects, music, so on. So because AI thing, of course, it could add a lot of to shorts creation even automatically, and you probably saw such things. But we want something not so sophisticated, but much more helpful, which you could test and edit in Adobe Premiere Pro, for example, which is very widespread editor when we think about number of users who use it in the world. So let's think about that. We mostly not we're trying to use ChatGPT prompts. Oh, I need to log in. I'm sorry. Let me log in. Because I'm logging with click Google button, it shows the list of all Google accounts I have on my machine, and it's provide ideas of everything I've used, which maybe is good, but I don't like overexpose things, I think I expose enough. So, and maybe to execute it immediately, we normally execute it just in command line. So command line window, CMD prompt. The only thing we've done, we go to my env scripts, okay, and we activate our virtual environment for Python, basically, which is set of all libraries and their version which are required to execute something, because otherwise we would work in like global system space and it could lead to some problems overall. So it's the only thing we done. Maybe today we could do something different. We just execute Visual Studio Code. It's it's simple and free IDE development environment. Oh, you have so many identified. So let's just open everything. We downloaded multiple stuff here, but I want to do some tests. Maybe we could even go to the Python folder here. And what we want to do, we want to create maybe new file and call it test, and IP, if I'm not mistaken, we will create a notebook allow us to execute code. It's like, very simple thing when you could execute Python code, but just in line, change it, execute it, would be very simple. So instead of writing a program and then writing in terminal execute it, it will allow you to do that. Basically, we could execute that similarly from maybe like here and just like not run test, run Python file in terminal, something like that. So Python, and it will show us some usage help, etc. But with here it would be even simpler. For kernel, we could try to use myenv. So we need to use our Python environment. So let's try to find that environment here because it's not located in, and we're looking for Python. Okay. Or really cancel. Select Python interpreter. Recommended workspace. Interesting. Yeah, we created it. We created it by hand. But could we just create? Could we choose? So let's use Python. Maybe select interpreter. Once again, let's try. Enter interpreter path, find my env lib scripts probably, and proper Python exam, I think. And then here so we probably need to install Jupyter Notebook extension just to enable them. Oh, what's happening? Fail it. Any mistakes? Okay. We could download it in several versions. Let's download it on the one. Let's open file. Where is log? Okay, I found the log file. So it's trying to install Jupyter build tools, skipping product, build tools, initialize and install, font install at the global location, signature state and signed. Extension is not signed. Interesting. What if we try to go to downloads, show more option, properties, and unlock that file first, and then try to install it once again? It's the same error. Right now it should be actually signed, but yeah. Okay, you know what? Can we restart Visual Studio? So it's probably happened because code. Let's try to restart Visual Studio. So we installed new version. Maybe we need to open Visual Studio Code right from this folder. Something told me that print hi. Network extension error post failed extension method instead. Use code duplicate. Interesting. Something going not good. At least now we looks like in installing phase. It's not throwing us immediately, but probably it will throw us right now because we still couldn't do that. Oh, it installed. Interesting. Python environment, and we trying to choose my env virtual environment. Allow. Okay, another IP kernel package. Let's install it. So we need to do some prerequisites actually to even be able to execute things like those. Oh, what is that? Git clients? It's PyTorch. Command prompts my env. Nice. Now it knows about my environment. So now we could execute hi. Import whisper. Will it import whisper? It should be available. Okay, and we have that CUDA Python, and we could model whisper lower turbo. Model transcribe. So if we just output something like that, we should be able to execute right away some input file. For input file, we could took some of maybe that wave file, copy pass, and we just insert it here. Maybe it will not execute because yeah, we didn't escape properly. It's Python, so we need something like that. Let's restart the cell. And the good thing, if we add new cells, we could add cells of code or markdown just to write something if you don't want to use comments, for example. Could add, for example, here markdown cell. Okay. And in markdown, we could use all that syntax of markdown by something like that. So if we complete it, it will show something like that. You see, so with some markdown syntax. Okay, it's defined language is Ukrainian, and it's showing what it's completed. So on the next code, for example, if we will just print segments, it would be available here. So we could continue from that, or maybe if we make font slightly better, from pp print import and instead of print we will use pp okay, something like that. It will show all the segments and it will show, yeah, all the segments and then all the word, and it would say word, start, and even probability. Nice. Maybe we should use probability when we create SRT. What do you think? Because we have our token segments, text, start, no speech probability, compress ratio, and we should probably have something like probability itself. No, temperature. So you see, we could use that cells to review all of those. So, and now to just try the things, we could yeah, write some code in that notebook and execute it right away. And once we develop some code, we could move it to some Python class or file, so it would be much more simpler to work with later. Yeah. So I think I'll think about how we will build the next stream tomorrow about the problem of creating short ideas which proper response format. So I'll think about response format, but we do some prerequisites, like we able to start Visual Studio Code on our folder, and then I think even if we try to execute it not here, but we try to open this folder, it would be even better, because that folder is what we have in our GitHub, and with that it will show everything we have here, what is like maybe like a tree. So it shows all the differences, and we could immediately from here decide what we want to add. For example, we probably want to add some changes we done in AI helper, and maybe we want to add them to repo, and we could do it maybe first time from Visual Studio Code on this computer rather than manually git commit. And it's our notebook as well, which let's see if it will work. Oh, looks like we haven't saved them. Let's add some very simple code like hi, and we need to select kernel. So it looks like we couldn't select kernel outside, or could we? Python environments, global environment, virtual environment. I think that virtual environment. Let's try to select that one. Now it should work. Okay. Yeah, but better idea is to create a local Python environment for each project, and it will work much better. So, and yeah, is it possible? Okay, so it's transcribed all the things, but it's not transcribed properly, because it says good day my. So instead of my name Dmitro, he said my naming is Dmitro, something like, but naming with some issues in the word itself, and then it's translate. So I do my online stream mish something in, and instead of English they said like English, for example, or like English, but in like different language. And instead of languages it say like level for some reason. So yeah, it's translated part of the stream instead of transcribing properly in proper language, but we know that it's because it's very short and it's turbo model. It's overall it's nice. Okay, so we will continue working with that thing, and we will continue working on that part, schema for response format, which will be useful for starting build our maybe project or plugin for Adobe Premiere Pro. So initially we will work on schema and how we need to change the prompt to properly build, populate that response in that schema format. Okay, today wasn't too long stream. It wasn't too short. We talked about things like importance of keeping our space up to date, keeping the things we need and don't keep the things we don't need. And I wish you everyone to have some harmony in that. So you are fine with the number of things you have in your home, in your room, on your table. My table is all full right now. I have something like so, which I don't use, starting like from my example USB tester. I used it maybe 2 days ago and haven't put it on the thing. And then I have some beautiful stones, but I couldn't, I don't have a place to put them. So they're on my table, and some other stuff like cables, Pomodoro timer, some holders for mini cameras, and so on, so on. So something not very organized at the moment. But hopefully it would be. So I wish you everyone to have harmony in that aspect of the things, because it's very important, especially if you want some changes in your life or some energy. Things which you don't need don't allow a lot of energy to flow into you. So just please find a better paid for the things you don't need. Maybe they could be very helpful for some people. You could just give them away, sell them, and use money for good, whatever you think is good is. Or go to some areas like we have goodwill where we could bring some things which if they are working and so on. So maybe you have other recommendation. Please put in comments. I really I really haven't done any good research around the topic, but if you have any ideas, it would be really cool to hear. So yes, and tomorrow or maybe day after tomorrow. Tomorrow it still would be weekend, late evening, and I have next week starting Monday my on-call week when I should get up pretty early and be ready to respond to any calls, basically any emails or any issues which come to my team, and my team is big and I'm only one, so yeah, it would be a tough week. So maybe I need some time to sleep instead of doing something. But yeah, starting from the next week, we'll start working on that short ideas creation, and hopefully we could share it in the source code or in the code repository. So it could be maybe a good start for someone looking for such program. Okay, please leave me some comments, like video, subscribe, and try to meet me. I know that my streams not always at the same time, but right now I'm hoping I would manage to make them at 11 p.m. Pacific time every day going forward. Maybe plus 10-15 minutes sometimes, but I'll update my stream schedule. Okay, guys, wish you a good day. Wish you things you need, you love, which bring you energy, and don't keep a lot of things which take away your energy. Create coziness for your loved ones. Be wise, be clever, be a person who accepts a lot of things and love a lot of things, rather than a person who hates, not accept, angry, and couldn't say he loves something or someone. So please be the first person. It's all possible. Yeah. Okay, I think that's it for today, and we'll meet tomorrow, day after tomorrow, whenever you are ready, unless I'll continue my streams after my 152 days stream challenge ends. If you want or have some ideas or some have recommendation or just nice word to me or maybe not so nice, please leave a comment. Okay, guys, see